everyone, Terrence Bates here with your Real America's Voice Newsbreak. Texas is leading the country when it comes to addressing deed theft. In most states, the crime is considered a civil issue and not a criminal one. Moreover, victims have little to no recourse. But check out this report from WFAA in Dallas, Texas, which sheds light on how a new state law in Texas is looking to change all of that.
The law creates a new crime called real property theft with stiffer penalties. It requires judges to include addresses and legal descriptions in sentencing orders and gives the state new tools to pursue restitution on behalf of victims. And for the first time, all county clerks must check photo ID when someone files a deed in person.
I am glad that there's something like that now, so that way it can help prevent further deed theft.
Let's bring in former FBI agent and current private investigator Tom Simon to discuss. Tom, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me on.
So look, what's most disturbing about title theft or deed theft in general is that there really aren't any laws on the books apart from Texas now that really address this, particularly from a criminal perspective.
Absolutely. And most police out there, departments, and they're doing God's work, but they're buried in violent crime. And so when someone comes in and says someone stole the deed to my house, most police officers really aren't equipped to handle that kind of investigation. And the statutes aren't neatly lined up to address this crime.
And beyond that, there really aren't any guardrails in place from a county assessor's office standpoint, from a county recorder's office standpoint, in terms of confirming that the person seeking to alter a deed is, in fact, the rightful owner of that deed. I hope those are the proper words to use.
No, you nailed it, Terrence. And there's no one watching the store at most county clerk's office. By statute, most county clerks, their job is to simply record a deed when it comes in, transferring ownership of your home from you to someone else. They're not supposed to be taking a look and seeing, is that deed legitimate? This new law in Texas provides the county clerk's office with a little more muscle where they can actually begin questioning fraudulent deeds to maybe prevent some of these fraudulent home transfers where people are actually losing their houses to scammers.
Kudos to lawmakers there in Texas. Do you see a move nationally to institute more laws similar to what Texas is doing, or at least to address the underlying issue of deed theft?
I'm hoping as title theft becomes kind of a bigger deal with us promoting this thing on the news and kind of telling these stories like you're doing on your program, that other state governments are going to take a look at this and realize that they have a real problem on their hands. Their taxpayers are paying a lot of money in property taxes for very little protection from the government for this type of crime.
And one of the major challenges is a victim actually realizing that they've been victimized because it is such an insidious crime and such an undercover crime, which is where home title lock comes in.
Exactly. So criminals can get out there and they can file a deed transferring the ownership of your house out of your name and into the bad guy's name, and then go out and get loans on your home. You won't even know this occurred, Terrence, until the foreclosure notices start piling up in your mailbox. So I recommend that everyone figure out a way to monitor their home title and the status of their home title, looking for changes. I think the best way to do that is a company like Home Title Lock.
How does one start the process with Home Title Lock? What are some of the offerings that Home Title Lock is advertising?
Home Title Lock has what they call $1 million triple lock protection, where they're going to monitor the status of your home title 24/7. If there's any change whatsoever, like a deed being filed or a lien being placed on your home, you're going to get immediate notification. And if, God forbid, someone is able to actually steal your house from you, they have a U.S.-based restoration team that's going to put that house back into your name.
And what's most frightening about this is, as I said at the very top, there's little to no recourse once you become a victim. At that point, you're trying to defend yourself and recoup what's already been stolen.
Absolutely. Even when you're able to put the bad guys in prison, like when I was an FBI agent, I certainly did that. There's no mechanism in place in the criminal courts to restore that home back into your name, which is why a service like Home Title Lock is so critical, because the legal fees to get that done are just astronomical.
Good information there. We appreciate you joining us. At the bottom of your screen, folks, you see more information on getting in contact with Home Title Lock. HomeTitleLock.com/Newsbreak. You can use the promo code Newsbreak in order to get a title history report plus 14 days of protection for free.